When I say that our next speaker is a salesman, what I mean by that is that he's never had a salaried position in his life. He's never had a salaried job because he understands that if you can communicate a message to a marketplace or to a person, then you can write your own check. Let me say that again. If you understand how to communicate your message to your marketplace, you can write your own check. He actually got to start in the mortgage industry, and truth be told, he's closed thousands and thousands of deals, more than he could even care to count. But if Russell Brunson thought enough of him to bring him up here to share his skill set and his knowledge with you, do you think that it might be something worth listening to and learning? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? He currently helps high net worth and high income individuals create windfalls of cash by changing their strategies. And he wants me to tell you one thing, that when you hire Ryan, you win. Let me say that one more time. When you hire Ryan, you win. So ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stand up on your feet and give a huge round of applause to our next presenter, Mr. Ryan Stewman.
Man, it's one thing to do like a webinar with like 5,000 or 8,000 people on it, right? I don't know. You don't know if I have spinach in my teeth or maybe boogers in my nose or any of that stuff, right? I don't see the reactions, but having 1,000 people in a room is a lot different. So let that sink in for a second there. So I'm excited. I have some really cool stuff for you. My name's Ryan Stewman. It was an awesome introduction there. I'm excited to be up here for sure. So you know what? We'll just get into it. First thing I want you to do is pull out your cell phone and text the word closer, C-L-O-S-E-R, to 44222. That'll put my app on your phone for free. Just text the word closer to 44222. Because here's the thing. I'm going to talk about the phone a lot today. You may want to turn this down a little bit. It might be really loud because I'm a loud person. Everybody's under that. What did Alex say? High pressure and sound frequency, right? They're like, it's your fault, dude. Anyway, I'm going to talk a lot about the phone today. The phone has helped me out a whole lot, and it all starts with y'all downloading my app on the phone. So the next thing is, before I get into, that's actually louder. The next thing is, before I get into my training today that I have for y'all, I own another company called Clixo, CLYXO.com. You can find my profile at clixo.com/closer. And what Clixo is absolutely free. You'll love it. But instead of me giving you my Instagram handle, my Facebook handle, my LinkedIn, all that, it's all in one place. Clixo.com. It's absolutely free. Takes less than 2 minutes to sign up. Use my logo on your business cards, whatever you want. So, all right, my goal for you today is to show you how to match the things that you're doing with your funnels to the phone, right? I started this whole thing out with the cell phone, right? Start with the smartphone. So my goal for you today is to be able to pair what you're doing with the funnels with the phone. And it's so important. I mean, think about this for a second. The human element's gone from a lot of us. We're like internet marketers for a reason. A lot of us are recluse, right? Even myself, at times, I find myself like being an introvert as well. And so think about it. If you call Bank of America and they actually answer the phone, hello, Bank of America, like it was the 70s again, you would freak out. You would be like, I love this bank. Okay, listen, I need this money moved to this account. And you could get your business handled. But instead, you got to go through 10 minutes of pushing different PIN codes and everything else, right? And it's annoying. So that's kind of what a lot of your customers go through too, right? They just want to talk to you or somebody on your team. But we're scared of the phone, right? I'm not, but a lot of people are. Well, I'm going to try to fix that for you today. I'm going to give you a process that you can use on the phone that will actually absolutely work for you no matter what you sell. And you don't have to be like the hardcore closer to use this stuff either. If you're an introvert, if you don't have the big booming personality, that's okay as well. So let's get started. 8 years ago, in March, I was sitting in a federal penitentiary, sweating my ass off. No air conditioning. I guess the luxury, the finer things in life weren't there at the quote-unquote country club that they talk about. You know, oh, he went to the federal country club. But 8 years ago, I committed a crime with some weapons, some drugs, hookers. It's a great story. And it's in this book. I highly recommend you read it. And It's a salesman in me. I couldn't resist. But 8 years ago, I was sitting in prison, 15 months, federal prison, and literally sweating my ass off, no AC. Right now, I live in the nicest building in all of downtown Dallas in the penthouse. My neighbors are doctors, lawyers, rock stars. I live next door to the highest paid dude in all of Major League Baseball, right? Friends with his wife. It's kind of cool. Like, you have stars as friends and stuff. Those are my two sons, Jax and Asher, looking out at the best view you could get without an ocean. It's no San Diego, but it's close, right? We'll take close second. So here's the thing. No matter where you're at in business or in life right now, right? No matter what your excuse you're making, oh, I don't do this, or I don't have this, or somebody didn't give me this. I want to hear it. That shit dies right now with me on this stage. Don't come up to me afterwards telling me that you've got this holding you back or this holding you back, because I don't care if you're at rock bottom right now. I was subterranean. Whatever advantage you have right now, whatever gift you have right now is 10 million times better than what I had when I was locked up 8 years ago. So fuck your excuses. They warned y'all about my language, didn't they? All right. Right now, 8 years later, 3.5 million people a week see my post. 3.5 million people a week see my post. I get the average post that I make on Facebook is seen by 20,000 people. I started this Instagram account 6 months ago. I've got 11,000 followers on there. My average post on Instagram gets 200 likes. A prisoner, a well-known felon 8 years ago. That's not who I am today, though. I'm the hardcore closer. This is my Instagram account. I'm going to give you guys honest numbers. I know a lot of people come up here and they talk big numbers. Oh, I'm a millionaire, this, that, and the other, right? I'm going to show y'all proof. This is Google Analytics, for those of you familiar with this. 668,000 people to my blog this month. That's unique visits. That's not double clicks or whatever you want to call it. I make sales every day. I am a salesman. This is my PayPal, email. I get a lot of them every day. Here's my records. You know, I track my money. A lot of people won't tell you how much money they make. I will. You can see what we did in November. You can see what we did in December. These aren't recurring revenue. This is all brand new sales, so recurring revenue isn't counted in this. Okay? And this is the deal. With these numbers, I'll put them up. The IRS, the SEC, the FTC. I'm not scared to get up here and claim these numbers because they're real. They're what I pay taxes and stuff on. Right? A lot of people are scared to give you real numbers because they don't pay taxes on that shit. Hey, who agrees that if you talk big numbers, you should have to pay taxes on them? Right? Who agrees with that? Notice when Russell was talking about that earlier, he looked at me and goes, and Ryan. So what makes me a sales master? Right? I'm going to help you become a sales master today too. Well, first of all, I started selling at car washes at the ripe age of 13. I was vacuuming cars at the ripe age of 8 to 13. I noticed the dude that was selling car washes didn't have to do manual labor. I thought, man, I want that gig. He's in the shade all day. All he's got to do is talk to people. My hands are all worn out. I want that job. When I turned 13, they gave it to me. We washed about 1,000 cars a day, so I got to take 1,000 turns on people selling them stuff every single day. On a good Saturday, we do 1,700 cars. I got a lot of face-to-face experience and a lot of experience quick at a young age. One day, somebody from the mortgage industry that was a recurring customer at the car wash asked me to join them, right? Hey, come work for us. You can sling mortgages. I'm like, lady, I don't have a credit card or a car payment, right? I don't know anything. I don't even know my social security number. What are you talking about? Within 3 weeks of going to work for her, I made $6,700. It's the biggest check I'd ever seen in my life. And I was addicted. I used to have to work 4 months at the car wash to make that kind of money, and all of a sudden I made it in less than a month. Within 6 months, I was the top producer of the mortgage company. I opened my own branch. Felony and all, right? I learned how to flip houses from there. I flipped 40 houses at this point, about to probably purchase my 41st because no one wants to lease to a felon. Reality, I just got turned down last week. Shit happens, you know? I've sold drugs. Hell, I mentioned prison in the beginning, right? Like we already went over this whole thing. See, again, I'll tell you 100% of the truth because all my stuff's out there, right? Shock factor didn't work very well in this audience, though. That's cool. That's called a pattern interrupt, but it looks like I blew it. And listen, I've sold my way out of getting killed by drug dealers, out of getting shanked by prisoners, out of, getting visits that I shouldn't have by guards in prisons. I've had to sell my way through some of the toughest situations ever. Please, officer, don't arrest me. That doesn't work. Right? You got to be a closer if you're going to get out of some of the situations that I've been in. There's a lot of people in this room right now judging me, and that's cool. You're going to make a decision before this is over with, whether you like me or don't. Either way, I'm okay with that. That's the mark of a true salesman, right? But there's a lot of people in this room that are going to resonate with my story. Because here's the deal. Salespeople, most of us are broken. Internet marketers, most of us are broken. Because here's the thing, if we weren't broken, if we were some fucking Ivy League educated spoon in our ass motherfucker, right? Right? We wouldn't be in sales. We'd be doing what Ivy League spoon in our ass motherfuckers do, right? Whatever the fuck that is. But instead, we're here. Right? We're here because we got issues with the past, whether they're authority problems or criminal justice system problems or whatever that list of shit that we got that Alex gave us earlier, right? You guys are just 2 stripes away from the crazy bracket that he listed out there, right? So I've got over 25,000 sales in my belt, probably more than that if you really count the car wash stuff. We'll just be conservative, right? Because what if I got to pay taxes on that shit? All right, I'm the ultimate example of failing forward. I'm a prolific mistake maker, and I believe that you have to make a lot of mistakes if you're a hard head to gain experience. Who agrees with that? Right? Alex talked about being a hands-on, right? I had to feel my way through a lot of accidents, a lot of decisions. See, human beings, they're scared of making decisions, right? Because when you make a decision, there's intention, and when you have intention, there's consequences. Consequences can be good or bad, but oftentimes consequences are bad for people because what? Make a bunch of stupid decisions. And think about it, like, we like to pretend that we're smart, but like, I know I'm stupid, but yet I'm smarter than almost everybody I meet, right? Think about that for a second. How many of us are in that same bracket, right? So here's the thing. I made a lot of stupid mistakes, but here's my story in a nutshell. This is really hard following Liz Binney's tear fest that she put us through earlier. Appreciate that. I got to speak on stage next. I'm crying like a 13-year-old girl at an NSYNC concert. I think that just dated me, though, didn't it? But anyway. So I was adopted at age 8. I got an 8th grade education. I liked prison so much I went back. Oops. I've been divorced 3 times. I'm really good at that, too. Homeless. If you need marital counseling, I am not your guy. I've been homeless. I've had drug addiction, but I'm still winning. Right? Because I never gave up. Right? I'm not scared. I've been below rock bottom. I talked about being subterranean, so I'm not scared at all. And I believe that every mistake that I've made, whether it be prison, whether it be divorce, I've learned from it, right? I've gained something from it. And guess what? I've gone through all these experiences so that I'm strong, so that the broken people that need me to carry them, the broken salespeople that need me to carry them, I've gone through the experiences to where they can cut the bullshit with me and they know that I'm real. They don't have to pretend to be some way and act like life's great. There's plenty of sales trainers out there that go to church on Sunday and tell you how awesome their life is, and mine hasn't been that way, and probably yours hasn't either, which is why you do what you do as an entrepreneur. I get a little passionate sometimes. So what do I know about selling? I know that everybody does it. It's like sex, right? We all fucking love it. We all like the result of it. Very few of us are talking about it, right? While we're talking about it, I have a group on Facebook called Sales Talk with Sales Pros, 15,000 people in there. And we have some people that are in the group that sell sex toys, right? They're in the dildo and butt plug business, right? That's what they do. And every now and then they'll post something about we had a record sales day and people be like, what do you sell? They're like, butt plugs, right? And so people get all nervous about it, like, shit, that's all taboo. I'm like, overload on taboo, sales and sex, fuck. Like, they shut down. We have people leave the group all the time. It's hilarious. But everybody enjoys the result of it. Everybody does it. But it's vital to success. Sales is vital to success. And I'm not just talking about business success or money success, but it is vital to all success, because if you can't sell your kids into going to sleep and brushing their teeth and eating healthy, they will grow up to be brats. If you can't sell your wife into respecting you, if you can't sell your employees into working, if you can't sell the waiter into bringing you the right hamburger at the right temperature, if you can't sell people into doing what you want, you will not see success anywhere. We sell in every area of our lives. As Greg Cardone says, you get sold or be sold, right? You're either closing or getting closed on every single conversation that you use, right? So sales is vital to success. And look, you don't have to be a dick to be a good salesperson. It works well for me, but you don't have to be that way, right? Not everybody is pushy, aggressive, an extrovert like I am. They're not scared. Like, not everybody's that way. Again, it's a taboo subject. A lot of people don't like talking about it. A lot of people like the result of it, but they don't like to have the experiences. So I'm going to give you a system today that will allow you to have these 5 steps that we use for high-ticket funnels, and you'll be able to put them in place, and you'll be able to have powerful sales conversations and meaningful sales conversations and close the people that come in through your funnels. So here's the importance of sales. Sales pays the bills. Matter of fact, sales is all that matters, because anytime a Wall Street company gives you their earnings, you don't hear them go, and the advertising earnings are. No, they say sales earnings, right? If the biggest, baddest businesses on the planet only care about sales and the public that invests in them only care about sales, you got to understand that's important, right? Marketing, advertising, sure, that's important, but it's nowhere up there with sales. They bring people in. If you can't close them, you don't get paid. It's that simple. The other thing is, it serves the public. Without sales, we'd have a bunch of people that had some really cool shit that nobody knew about, right? They got to have somebody to sell and get the people to make the decisions to use the product, right? Like, let's just use Bill Gates, right? Everybody says he's the world's greatest salesman. No, he hired the world's greatest salesman to go push his product. Bill's a nerd from the internet, right? He knew what he had to do. He got the right people to go sell for him. If he hadn't have gotten the right people to go do his sales for him, then there's no way we would know Microsoft as it is today, right? We'd all be using DOS or whatever the hell existed before then, right? A ClickFunnels DOS version. That'd be great. It'd be awesome. Should totally make that, right? Throwback Thursday, damn it. Sales drives the economy globally. I don't care if you sales drives the economy. Right? The whole thing, everything we bitch about politically, everything we bitch about religion, it's all from sales, right? Everything that we think about in these countries, it doesn't matter, some third world, war-torn country, sales is still vital to there, right? I was watching a thing the other day about Cuba, and they were saying that, the food was, they were going through rations and stuff like that, right? I'm not a big educational Nat Geo. I was probably stoned when I was watching it, whatever. So just threw that in there. They were talking about all these people were, making sandwiches, and that was what they sold. These people were selling these sandwiches to pay their way through everything, right? They had hustled some of the other people, and they were selling sandwiches. So even somewhere where there's food rationing, there's a hustler somewhere getting paid behind sales. Drives the economy no matter how big or small it is. But selling in 2016 is different. I'm not going to tell you to pick up the phone and make cold calls. Matter of fact, I hate cold calls. Who hates cold calls? Right? No, really, who hates cold calls? Like half of y'all raise your hands. Right, we all like to tell ourselves, like, oh, I'm a badass salesperson. I love cold calls. Bullshit. You like calling people that don't want to talk to you and telling them something that they don't want to hear. Really, tell me more about that. Sounds exciting, right? And think about this. How many multimillionaires do you know that cold call? Right? That's bottom of the barrel sales work, right? So I'm not going to have you guys do that. I'm not going to get up here and say, all you got to do is make 100 calls every day and you'll make a sale. Selling these days, 2016 is a lot different than that. We sell with blogs. We sell with email. We sell with ClickFunnels. We sell through social media. These days, like Russell said, Liz said, you can post something on social media and make a lot of sales from it, just one post. The other day, I turned on a Facebook live stream and we had 20,000 people watching me. Like, who the fuck are you guys? Right? Y'all just all happen to be available at the same time? It's fucking amazing. But we sell differently, right? We sell from the stage. We sell on the phone. We sell face-to-face. We sell through text. My system works through text. The system that I'm going to share with you, it works through text. But the most important thing is the phone. Now, if I went back to that Google Analytics picture that I showed you guys, you'd see that 57% of my traffic comes from mobile Facebook. What does that mean? The phone, right? And you guys just, by the way, all opted into my funnel, and you saw my funnel started where? The phone. We know people have it in their hands. Oh shit, I just realized I don't have mine. It's fucked up. Where's it at, right? Like those are the feelings we get when we realize we don't have our phone, right? And so, we know how important it is, but everybody avoids it because they think that selling on the phone means making cold calls. They think that selling on the phone means going to, try to break through the 14% of the people that even answer the phone. That's right, 86% of all phone calls go unanswered. And you want to cold call people? You talk about a waste of time, people that don't want to buy, and then 86% of them don't even want to answer the phone in the first place. It's crazy. So we sell through different mechanisms, right? We get on video, we sell. We make a post on Facebook, we sell. We make a blog post, which I'll talk about my whole blog system too, which gets me all those views. But it's just different selling in 2016. But the phone has more than 10x my income in the last 12 months. As y'all saw, we do 6 figures with recurring income, multiple 6 figures every month. I've been running this business since 2012. My story is similar to Liz, nobody showed up for my first meeting, my first webinar, all that, right? The guy with tattoos that cusses. Nobody's trying to hear that. Give us another sales trainer that's in church on Sunday, right? Where's that guy at? That's what they were looking for. But the phone changed things because for every $1 that I make online, that means somebody went to my ClickFunnels, they read my sales page, and they made a decision to buy, right? I don't have to talk to them, complete automation, whether it went through my email or whatever. For every $1 I get that way, I get 52 through the phone. Or really, we'll say offline. It doesn't necessarily all have to be through the phone. But by offline, I mean still online, just so we're clear on that, total contradiction. But by offline, what I mean is like picking up the phone or actually human reaching out to them, like an actual person on my team reaching out to them, right? So for every dollar that we get with automation, we're picking up 52 just because we're adding that human element to it, just like if Bank of America was like, hello, right? Currently, we're over 200 grand a month between new sales and recurring revenue. All because the phone. I shit you not, funnels and phones, great combination. Even these days, thanks to the funnels that I run on phones and the ads, the legends look to me. I've worked with Zig Ziglar organization, the Napoleon Hill Foundation. That's Katrina Campins, who was on The Apprentice and who also sells for Donald Trump. That's Josh Altman, who's on $1 Million Listing. 99%, all but one, of the entire cast of $1 Million Listing has come to me for help, and I have done some sort of program with them. I have celebrities, like all these people that have come, all because we pick up the phone and do things a little bit different. Even Russell's invited me to come out to his house. Man, just show me how you're doing this stuff. Here's my competition because of what we're doing differently. And I'm going to share it with you guys. But you can see Jordan Belfort, Grant Cardone, all these big-time sales trainers, none of them have the traffic we do. Right? You can see that all their stuff's going down while mine's staying pretty damn consistent. And my system will work for you too. It works for absolutely everybody. Here's how it starts. My funnel starts with a blog post. And here's how I structure the blog, right? Hardcorecloser.com, make sure you sign up. But like in all reality, opt in and see what my funnel's like. Don't be scared when somebody calls you, answer the phone. You might get sold something, you might like it. So the way that I structure my blog post, it's real simple. 80% content, 20% call to action, okay? 80% I give the goods. I write, the average blog post I think is 300 words, right? That's what people say. Mine's 1,200. I'm very wordy, talk a lot. But I give 80% content, and then here's what happens. After they've read that 80% content, the very last 2 paragraphs on every blog post, if you go to Hardcore Closer, and you read any blog post on there, the very last paragraphs offer them 2 chances to buy stuff. Chance number 1 is a lower ticket. In my world, a lower ticket product's $500, right? It says, hey, if you enjoyed this material and you want to know more, we have a program that we match with that. It's called Show Up and Close. You go to showupandclose.com. It's real simple. Sign up there. We'll send you the program. Then the last paragraph says this, or if you're ready to step up into the big leagues and invest in yourself and you know you want to work with me one-on-one, click this button and fill out this form, right? So what I've done is I've given them the content so that the kangaroos, as we call them, right? Kangaroos are people that don't buy shit, right? Because kangaroos' arms too small to reach in their back pocket, want to put a bunch of free shit in their pouch. They got like 5,000 free ebooks and shit like that, right? Ain't never bought anybody's program. We all know some kangaroos, right? But so the kangaroos are fed, the zookeeper's happy, right? Like, so they get their 80% content, and then the 20% that I'm giving calls to actions, I'm giving specific calls to action. It matches my content. I've got 13 different products, so I can blog post basically, depending on what the blog post is, I can match the product to it. And then the last thing says, if you're ready to invest and you're ready to make a decision right now to work with me, then fill out this form. That means every time somebody fills out that form, they're dead ass serious, right? It even says on there, do not waste my time and get me on the phone with you. I will call you out on social media. I will. Be like, you wouldn't believe this kangaroo hopped up in my phone today, shit all over the place, and took up my time, right? My friends from Australia are dying over here. They're like, that means something else down under, mate. Anyway, my Facebook ad strategy works like this. Every time I make a blog post and I post it to my Facebook page, which is Hardcore Closer, I put $200 behind it, right? I like to tell you it's really elaborate. It's like, wow, I got this like whole traffic monitoring system and all this. I don't. I make about 5 or 6 posts a day. 2 or 3 of those are blog posts from my blog, right? Because I can reuse the content over and over and over again, right? I've got about 700 blog posts. And I'll put $200 behind it. That's $50 a day for 4 days. Over the course of but I'm doing that 2 or 3 times a day, right? So I'm spending $600 to $1,000 a day on Facebook ads, right? And so what we do is whichever one does the best, out of the 3 or 4 that I posted that day, I turn the others off, and then I dump all $500 or $600 or whatever's left in the budget behind that one post, and then let it run. But my audience always sees fresh content because I'm only boosting them 4 days at a time. So, and this is every single day, except for today because I'm here. So is my team, and nobody to call anybody. But every day we're putting this money behind there, right? And so people are they're reading my blog, so they're super happy, right? Because Facebook's showing them my stuff in the news feed, and they're like, and it might be something that says, do you suck at sales? They're like, oh yeah, this is great. I need to, they're like reading it or whatever. The kangaroos are happy, but at the end, I get all these people to my website, and they have to make a decision, right? Should I fill out this form? Should I buy this product? And that's all I need them to do. Just like I said, you guys have a decision too. You make a decision, do you like me or not? That's all I got to do. I just got to get in front of enough people. And so for $1,000 a day, about $600 to $1,000 a day, $1,000 on a good day, $600 on an average day, you can see that that'll get me in front of 3.5 million people a week, which gets me a multiple six-figure, and Russell and I are working hard to make that 7-figure a month income. All because we do something different than everybody else, which is the phone. And my random testing method, I just explained that slide late there. So what we'll do now is we'll move on to my 5-step sales system called Catch. Okay, this is what I use every time we get on the phone. Do not deviate from this plan. This is like Russell's perfect webinar. Russell says every time that somebody does the perfect webinar and it doesn't work, it's because they deviated from the plan. And here's the thing, like the dumbest salespeople make the most money because we don't know any better, so we just do what we're told. Right? I watch guys, when I sold cars, I would watch guys come in, and as soon as they figured out what the numbers were, they'd start losing deals, right? They stopped selling to me because they knew stuff. They were educated. Too smart. Dumb guys come in and close things left and right. See, just like I mentioned earlier about being smart or whatever, like DJ Khaled says, you smart. But anyway, like, y'all seen that dude's always doing workouts and stuff like that on his Snapchats, all motivational. Dude looked like he on a terrible diet or something. I don't get that. So anyway, so what happens is we go through this system called Catch. And it's a 5-step process, and it's very simple. And the things that I've put in place are for simple people because most people are simpler than us. If you're the expert at something, that means they know less than you. That's why they're coming to you. So if you overcomplicate it and they're not the expert, they get lost and don't buy because they're indecisive. So what we're going to do is we're going to help them through that. So here's how every phone call that my team, myself, everybody does, here's how it goes through. And it kind of sucks because if some of y'all wanted to buy our stuff, you're going to be like, okay, you're going to ask me this next, right? It'd be funny. So it works like this. I pick up the phone, I call people because I have them schedule appointments, or if a fresh lead comes in, my team calls them almost immediately. If they're getting a book from us or something like that, we'll call them a week later. That way we can make sure that they read the book, right? We hold them accountable. And so what I do is when I'm doing my personal big ticket sales, first thing I do is say, hey, what's going on, man? It's Ryan from Hardcore Closer. And I'll ask them, where are you from, man? And they'll say, oh, I'm from Philadelphia. Awesome. You know what? I've got 2 clients in Pennsylvania right now that have funnels working for them that are getting results. You're in a great market. And what I've done right immediately off the bat, and what's small talk, I planted the seed that there's somebody just like them in their geographic location that's getting results that they want. Right there with the first 10 seconds of the conversation, I've already shown them social proof that what they want is possible and someone similar to them is experiencing them. The next thing that I do is they're going to answer, how's the weather, some shit. I try to deviate from that as much as possible. But the next question that I ask them is, what made you decide to reach out? And that's where the C in Catch comes in. We're going to clarify, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to clarify why the prospect is there. C, clarify why the prospect is there. And that's with this question. The most powerful question in sales is, what made you decide to reach out? You think that's such a simple statement. Why is it powerful? Because I said earlier, humans hate making decisions. They hate it because decisions meant that something's intentional. And if something's intentional, there's consequences. It could be good or bad. And most people make a bunch of stupid decisions. And so they're scared of having bad consequences, right? Consequences that they don't want. And so when I ask, well, all we're trying to do in sales is get a bunch of, sales is just simply a bunch of smaller agreements, a bunch of smaller decisions of yes that lead up to the grand finale, which is a close, right? So when I ask somebody, what made you decide to reach out to me, immediately they've admitted that I was the decision that they've made. Anything that comes out of their mouth. Now there's 2 types of people when you ask this question. Type number 1, 80% of them, they just say, well, I saw your blog post, seemed like some good shit. I'm into good shit. Here we are. What's up, right? They're very vague about it, very like, you can't sell me, Hardcore Closer, right? Like, I'm used to it. And so some people think it's a game still. You think it's a game? Anyway. The second type is, well, you know what? It all started in first grade, right? I had this one teacher and they start telling you their whole life story. And 10 minutes later, you're like, wow, dude, well, I'm glad you're here, right? And actually, those are my favorite type of people because they're just straight up honest. They know what they want. And if you can solve the problem that they're just blatantly honest and tell you about, then they'll do business with you, right? We like those people. Plus, I like listening to people's stories because the truth is, he who talks the most in a sales conversation loses the most. If you look at like sales loss versus words used, every time that somebody loses sales because they out-talk the prospect. I'm gonna show you how not to do that. So what made you decide to reach out? They're gonna give you one of those two responses we talked about, and then we're gonna do assign their mind to an agenda, an agreement, right? And this is real simple. I got this from my buddy Kevin Nations. One of the best word tracks ever, is once somebody tells you what made them decide to reach out, you say, awesome, that's exciting. Well, here's what we're gonna do. You know a little bit about me, so what I'm gonna do is ask you some questions so that I can find out a little bit about you and what your problem is, and then talk about what we have that might solve that problem for you. Does that sound fair? Real simple. Instead of me saying, okay, here's what we're gonna do, I'm gonna sell you some shit, I say, hey, let me ask you some questions, right? I let them know that, hey, I'm setting the tone for this. This is not a sales conversation to them. This is an interview. I'm interviewing you. I feel presidential behind here. I'm running on legal weed in every state and no dogs in restaurants. And my running mate shall be 2 Chainz. Anyway. So we're going to assign their mind to agreement. We say, awesome. Well, here's the thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you some questions to see if or how I'm fit and can best help you. Meanwhile, if you want to interrupt me and ask me any questions, that's awesome as well. Does that sound fair? They're going to say yes. Then all of a sudden, we've got them to make a decision. We've got them to agree with you. And now we're on track to ask them some questions. We're going to talk them through their pain. We're going to do that doing exactly what we just told them we're going to do. We're going to ask them questions. When they first reached out, like let's say the 80%, you say, hey, what made you decide to reach out? And they're like, well, I was just checking things out. Awesome. So why were you checking things out? Right? They're going to give you some kind of clue. And you just start the question process and you just fact find. Every time, if they're short with questions, make sure your questions are, if they're short with answers, make sure your questions are better. Don't preload questions. Don't go, hey, did you decide to reach out because you're looking for sales training for your sales team? Right? Don't preload questions. You say, hey, what made you decide to reach out? Elon Musk was interviewed by 2 people. One of them was 60 Minutes, one of them on CNBC. He spoke like 500 more words to the one on CNBC because the guy asked open-ended questions versus the guy that interviewed him with 60 Minutes that preloaded his lips. So you want to make sure that you ask them the questions. You do exactly what you just told them you were going to do. You're going to ask them some questions. Show interest in people, right? Oftentimes we're so busy rattling our own chain and talking about how awesome we are, we're not interested in people. People pay big money to be able to talk and tell their problems, right? Psychiatrists, therapists, doctors, right? So if you're a salesperson and you're on the other end and you're listening and you actually do care, you actually do give a shit, they will talk to you because they feel like you'll solve their problems. So you're just going to ask them questions, and there's some point in the questioning process where you're going to uncover the real pain. And when I say the real pain, I mean the shit they don't like to talk about, like the subsurface thing. So for example, I think even Russell mentioned this earlier, like no one wants a drill, right? They want a hole, right? Perry Marshall's, I think, the one that coined that. Nobody wants a drill, they want a hole. A lot of my clients are real estate and mortgage people, and they think, oh, my people love me. Dude, if they could cut your 30,000 commission dollars out of that in a second, you'd be gone. Right? And so what it is nobody wants a mortgage. What do they want? A house. But if they want that house, the mortgage is the bridge to get there. So if you're selling a mortgage, you're selling them something they don't want. Nobody wants a 30-year debt around their neck. What they do want is a house, and they're willing to suffer that 30-year debt to get to that house. And so if you start selling what they want instead of what they don't want, nobody wants to buy my program because it has 114 videos in it. Like, who wants to sit and go through 114 videos? Now, they buy it because they know there's that one that they can go through that gets them a funnel set up in an hour. That's the one that matters. The rest of it is just bonus for whenever they need it, right? But if I'm over here trying to sell that I have the most comprehensive, like most 10 scripts and all this other stuff, right, it's going to overwhelm people. But if I just tell them that, hey, man, you can have this problem solved in an hour, they'll buy. But if I don't uncover that pain by asking questions, then I can't know what to sell them because I don't know what they want. We call it pillow talk, right? You roll over in the middle of the night. Nobody goes, hey, honey, we need a funnel. It doesn't happen, right? Maybe you internet nerds, but nobody I know, right? But here's the thing, like, what happens is they do roll over and they go, hey, if we don't find a way to get some extra income, man, we're going to be able to pay for little Ricky's daycare. You know? Hey, you know what? If we don't make our car payment this month, they're going to come get it. How you going to show Holmes from a Uber? You know? This is my driver. Never mind that he don't speak English. So we're going to talk them through the pain, uncover that pain, right? And as soon as we uncover that pain, like, oh, here's my problem. Can you solve it? Yes, we absolutely can. You can only buy this one product, this one-time thing. You close them, right? C, close them. So once we uncover the pain, we close them by saying, hey, my product solves your pain. I got hydrocodone. You're in pain, right? Like my product solves your pain. And you can do that by taking these actions today. In a perfect world, they like throw their wallet at you, right? Like, oh, this is great, here you go. But we all know that's not what happens. To those 20%, the guys that talk your ear off, that's what they do. They go, awesome, here's my wallet, charge me. To the other 80%, they go through the same thing that everybody else does, decision meltdown. Wait, got to talk to my partner, need to check my bank account, see the way that my bank account's set up. Is like they go through all these things, right? All these ways, these excuses, these objections. And a lot of people get scared. They hear an objection, salespeople, they hear an objection, they start backing away. Oh shit, they really don't want my stuff. When oftentimes all that is they're just used to that because that keeps them from being decisive when they give you that objection, and they're used to that and they don't want to be decisive, and then they just continue in indecisive land. But I firmly believe that my products are the best on the planet, and if you don't buy them, I can't solve your problem, so I have to push on. And if you don't believe that your product's the best on the planet, and if they don't buy from you, it won't solve that problem, you're not selling the right thing. My why is they need my shit because it helps them fix their shit. Or I wouldn't have made it. I'm not in the product making business because it's fun. If you guys tried to use the internet, that shit ain't easy until ClickFunnels recently, you know? And we've had ups and downs through that too, you know? It takes some level of tech skills. So you close them, call to action, they're gonna give you some objections. Your job is to handle those objections. They're nothing more than just words, right? They're questions. There's something that's left, right? There's something that you didn't touch the right pain, right? You didn't solve the right problem. They didn't tell you enough because you didn't ask enough questions. Oftentimes we'll go in for the kill really quick and we didn't do enough fact finding. But when they do give you those objections, that's when you help them make a decision. I don't like giving discounts. You'll never see any of my products. You'll never see me like 50% off or 90% off. I don't like that. I believe it devalues my products, right? And also, if Lindsay here buys my product for $1,000 and then I sell it to Amy 6 weeks later for $500, how big of an asshole am I? Lindsay has the right to ask for my money back, right? Now, years down the road, like I have products that at one time were $700 that are now $100, but that's because we made them 4 years ago and just because market depreciation of the relevancy of the content, right? But you can't run, my feelings are you can't run flash sales. So I don't help them by offering them some sort of discount. I help them by offering them bonuses. Like what we do is we say, hey, if you'll buy our Break Free Academy digital program for $997 and you'll make the decision right now, we'll send you the link, we'll throw our show up and close program in, which is $497 for free. What is it? It's just another login to us, right? Just one more little manual thing that we got to add. It's another $500. They're getting 50% more of the value that they had before, and they're happy. Oftentimes they're like, oh shit, that's awesome. Now it's an offer I truly can't resist, you know? But you think, some of you go, well, I don't have any extra stuff that I can give away. Create something extra. A webinar that you did before that you're not advertising, you know? An ebook that you wrote. Some other program if you have multiple programs. An extra funnel. There's something you can do to help them make that decision. And here's the thing, you say, well, what about the people that close when you just called them to action? Well, then when they're happy and they're already closed, you go, hey, and as a bonus, I'm going to just go ahead because you're cool like that and give you my show up and close program for $497. Then they went from like happy to do business with you to ecstatic because you just gave them free shit that they didn't ask for. People love free shit. Kangaroos everywhere. True story. And so you incentivize them, you help them, right? So you can't lose. You help the indecisive make a decision, and you help the decisive feel even better and warm about their decision, right? By giving them this bonus. So who thinks that they can use this in their business? It's pretty easy to follow, right? Nothing complicated, right? Who likes the kangaroo reference? Come on, y'all. That comes from our Sales Talk with Sales Pro group. We got some characters in there, sex toys and all. So here's the thing. While you're going through this catch process, you have to remember one more formula. And that's interest and desire plus bonding and trust equals familiarity. Creates familiarity, which equals closing clients. Right? This works on both ends of the spectrum. You showing them that you're interested, you showing them that you desire to do business with them, but also piquing their interest and getting them desired in doing business with you. Right? Once somebody decides they like something, somebody decides that they have the desire to learn more about it, and you start fact-finding with them, you're starting to build this bonding, right? Like, this dude cares about me. He's asking questions. He's not telling me about 114 videos of bullshit. He actually cares. You know, he asked me about my wife. He asked me about my kid when I mentioned that 2 sentences ago. Little do they know I'm using it against them. That doesn't matter, right? So here's the thing. Then they start to trust you, right? Because when they answer your questions, and then you start asking expert level questions, which you'll start to do, right? As you go through this process more and more, you'll know what questions you need to ask, right? Because you know who your perfect customer is. They start to trust you. They say, oh, wow, this dude really gets it. He knows what's up. And then they're like, they see your ads. Maybe they don't even buy on the first call, right? They see your ads for a few days. You become more and more familiar with them. And then you follow up, which most people fail to do. But then you follow up with them. And all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I remember you. Oh yeah, man, I know that dude. They'll talk about you at cocktail parties. Someone's like, hey, I was reading this hardcore closer post. They're like, I know that dude, right? They become familiar. You can do this through social media and everything else, but the same thing when you're on the phone having that catch conversation, this is the process psychological that's going on as well. So, back up here. So my time is almost up. Here's what I'd like to do. I was going to pitch you guys on some products, but I promised the doorkeeper I wouldn't do it. They're killing me as a salesperson. I had this whole thing lined up. They shot it down. It's okay, though. I'm going to deal with it. So here's what I'd like to do. I got 5 minutes left. What I'd like for you guys to do, and I'll give you a book, is walk up to the microphone, it doesn't matter who, and ask your give me an objection. Tell me what you sell, your name, what you sell, and then give me an objection that you get in your business. Go ahead, my man. Just grab the mic over there. That'll probably work. And then I'll give you a rebuttal, a word track that you can use to overcome that. So make it quick. Go ahead, my man. We're waiting on you. Grab. Right there. Okay, cool.
You guys beat me to it?
You first. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nina, and I own a custom picture framing shop. And almost every customer that's ever walked in my store in 36 years has said, oh my God, picture framing is so expensive.
Well, there's a reason that you're in my store, not Kmart, ma'am. If you were looking for cheap paintings or cheap picture frames, you'd be at Walmart because they have thousands of them there, but you're looking for quality craftsmanship, which is what led you to here. And why wouldn't you expect to pay a little bit more for something that's better than everything else? This side.
So I really want to focus on my current business. I think it's my ticket to freedom. I think it's going to make me more money than what you're sharing with me.
What do you sell, first of all, so I know what you sell?
What do I sell? Or
Yeah, what do you sell?
So I sell high-ticket water ionizers.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you. Okay, so you sell high-ticket water ionizers, and then what objection do they give you?
That their current low-ticket business will make them more money if they just stay focused on it.
Absolutely. You know what? But if you were focused on it, you wouldn't be here on this call with me because you understand that you're going to have to make a whole lot of sales and continue to go through the grind unless you can automate your system and everything else and have to wake up every day and make multiple sales because you have such a low ticket. Or you can make one sale a day with me and save yourself the time, go enjoy it with your family, go enjoy it with your spouse. You smart. You should buy from me, right? Like,
I love it. Thank you.
But I mean, right, you want to go work the hours to make 100 sales, or would you rather work 1 hour and make one? Well, there's a lot of echo in that. All right, on this side, looks like we still got some time.
Yeah, my name is Michael, and I sell information to stop foreclosures.
Awesome.
Auctions. So a lot of times when I give them a price, they think it's a little bit too high. They say they can't afford it.
Well, there's a lot of things you can't afford, sir, because you're not making your house payment. Let's just get that out of the way.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, so listen, we know that you're also saving that money because you're not spending it. And so here's the thing. I did this business, actually. I knocked doors a few years ago. That's how I flipped homes, so I've done this business. It's like, here's the thing. You're in trouble. And one of two things is going to happen to you. You're either gonna not take this information and not implement it and not pay this today, and you're gonna end up losing your house. Or even if this information is 3 times what it's priced today, you're gonna buy it, you're gonna implement it, you're gonna save your house, you're gonna protect your family, you're gonna have a roof over your head. I don't care what the price of my product is, it's nowhere near the cost of being homeless, I can assure you of that. And we stop your problem right now. And pay your fucking bills. That's the banker in me. Yeah, absolutely. This side.
Hello? All right. So my name's Joe. We sell meal prep containers.
Sell what?
Meal prep containers.
Okay.
And one of the objections is that they're really hard to close, to put the lids on.
Sounds like you're having the same problem in sales. That's funny, right? I don't give a shit. That's funny. So,
I'll take it.
so they're really hard to close. Are you selling to like old people or something like that, or
We sell them
lazy
online.
people, or
Online.
online?
So whoever takes it.
Well, the thing is, they're really hard to close because we lock the freshness in. You know, you can call Meals on Wheels, and they'll give you some loose lid, slid, welfare-approved meal things that you can stuff your stuff in. But if you want your shit to taste fresh, you're gonna have to fucking push on the lid. Besides, you lift fucking weights. You're probably a musclehead while you're buying meal prep things, and you're bitching about something being hard. It's called exercise, son. Buy my shit.
Hey, babe. Note that. Oh, note that, babe.
All right. This side.
Oh, hi, my name's Lorraine, and we're business coaches. And
Your business what?
business coach.
Okay.
And what we find is a lot of people consider us to be an expense rather than an investment.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. When you're a business coach, it is an expense, and you can itemize that on your tax thing, right? So even if you lose money here, it's better than paying taxes on it. But here's the thing. The investment is not necessarily in our business coaching, it's in yourself. And what happens is if you take our coaching and you actually implement what it is that we teach you, you're gonna get an ROI on this investment and still be able to write it off on your tax returns. But here's the thing. If you don't do anything right now, right here with me today, then things are gonna remain the same as they are right now, which you're obviously not happy with. I got one more. Oh, no, they close everybody out. That's it. So that's it for my time, everybody. They shut my mic off and everything, I think. Thank you very much.
Everybody get on your feet. Keep it going for Ryan Stewman.